Hey guys, there's been a lot going on lately. And I wanted to just give an update because I might be a little bit off. Hey guys, I wanted to come on and do a video just kind of updating on what's been going on the past little bit. Yesterday my daughter Riley had a stroke. We thought it was a stroke. Her face was drooping on the left side. Drool was coming out of her mouth. She couldn't talk clearly. All signs presenting of a stroke. And so I called the ambulance. We lost my great grandma about a year, almost 2 years ago now, and she had a stroke, and I was the one who recognized it in her. So I have just been a little bit more like aware. I worked in the hospital. I've seen stroke patients before, so I noticed it right away. Her face was drooping, drool was coming out. We called 911. They ended up thinking it was probably not a stroke because she's 5 and it's very unlikely for a 5-year-old to have a stroke, of course. But they thought it probably was a seizure. She's had a seizure in the past. About a year ago, she had a seizure and then didn't have one again until now. Having one seizure in a child is not uncommon, but having multiple, they say maybe you're at a higher risk of having epilepsy. So we took her to the emergency room and she had an EEG. I'll put a few photos so you can see what that looked like. So she had these wires attached to her head for about an hour, and they monitored the electric kind of connections that were happening in her brain. There's like neurons and electrons and stuff that happen inside of your brain. They're kind of always wiring and shooting off, and apparently a hyperactive electric. I don't even know if I'm even saying this correctly. This is all so much information to absorb in one day, but basically with a brain that has seizures, it's more likely to kind of like off fire or fire incorrectly the electric pulses, and which causes your body to tense up and to have a seizure. She's not having grand mal seizures, which would be like the really big, like major, like falling over, shaking, vomiting, that type of seizure. They're called partial seizures. So she tenses up, her jaw clenches, she stares off, she gets extremely pale. It's very scary to see happening to your child. And I am not a medical professional, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, really, I know what has happened to her, but I'm just saying what our experience has been. So yesterday, they think what happened is that she had a little bit more intense seizure, which caused paralysis in her face for a little bit of time, is what they're saying, at least. And so there's a lot. There's just a lot. There's a lot to learn. Basically, she cannot swim by herself. She cannot ride her bike by herself. She can't walk up the stairs by herself in case she were to fall again and have another seizure. I guess the biggest risk with seizures is hurting yourself. There is a small chance if you have a really strong grand mal seizure with, like a one where you're falling over and you're unconscious for like a long period of time. If it's longer than 5 minutes, there can be risk of sudden death or passing away. So that's obviously scary. She has not had a grand mal seizure. She's only had these small ones. But we're talking with her doctor. We're trying to go, because it's only been one seizure per year. She's had one this year and one last year. We're trying to go through a more holistic route first, especially because they're not grand mal seizures. They're very small at this point, at least. So we're trying to holistically approach this by changing her diet, giving her more of a ketogenic diet. There's other studies. Again, I'm not a doctor, but this is what we've talked about with our doctor. vitamin D3, magnesium, omega-3, taking some of these supplements that can help along with the ketogenic diet. We're hoping that we can minimize the amount of seizures she has. And hopefully this will just be something that happens through her childhood, but it is a lot. I tried to make another video about this and I posted it and then deleted it. I just felt like I shared too much information. I'm trying to come at this in a way that's honest, but also I don't know much and I'm learning, and so I don't want to present like I know too much right now, because I don't. I'm still learning. This happened yesterday, was the second seizure that she's had. But it's a lot. There's a lot going on, and I am opening up and being vulnerable, and I don't have to do that, I know, but I'm sure there are moms on this platform that are going through something similar and are also struggling with it. So if you have a daughter with epilepsy or a son with epilepsy, or if you have tried to go about this in a holistic approach, I would love to talk to you. If you would send messages to me or anything, comment if you have experienced this, if you've gone through this at all, because we're just totally new, learning. We had a terrible experience with her doctor. Her doctor was absolutely awful at the hospital. She was so rude. She came in at 1 a.m. trying to force us to take a medicine that I hadn't been able to look into yet. And I told her I really would like to have a minute. Like, I'd like to start a medication tomorrow if we can, because right now I am exhausted. We have been at the hospital all day into the night, and we haven't had time to process any of this. And she's only had one seizure this year. She had one last year. I don't think that I don't want to make a decision in haste that would then make her stuck on this medication for a lifetime, versus us just seeing if we can try to go at this in a maybe more holistic way. I don't know. We're talking to her primary care doctor today at 3. We have an appointment to talk with him about his approach, what he thinks she should do, because we trust him. She knows him and he knows her. He loves her. We want that approach. We don't want some mean doctor that came in flipping out on us at 1 a.m. because we didn't want to take a medicine the second she wanted to give it to us. So I'm not anti-medicine. I just would like more information. If you are a mom that's gone through this, I would love for any tips or anything that you could give, any advice. And other than that, prayer would be really appreciated. It is a lot emotionally. There's a lot of new changes we have to do now and things we have to watch out for, and constant kind of anxiety about that, and worrying it could get worse, or worrying she has a more serious seizure the next time. So anyway, prayers would be so appreciated. Any advice, any tips from someone who's actually experienced this or had their child experience, it would be so appreciated. And just grace. I know I don't have like a huge platform, so I don't have people who are like expecting every week for me to post, but just grace. I do feel really led to do this, and I do want to continue posting. I feel like God has been calling me to do this for a while, and I want to obey that calling, but I also would love respect with the time right now that we're trying to just figure things out. It's a lot, and I'm just going through it. I'm a mom. I'm just trying my best to care for my daughter and my family, and still do what God's calling me to do in whatever capacity that looks like. But yeah, I hope that if anything, God will just be very like forthcoming with all of this. He will really like pour into what we should be doing, help me to know what decisions to make. I've just been praying that he gives me wisdom and strength to get through this next stage. And for whatever reason, we have our son got diagnosed with asthma this year, and then our daughter with epilepsy. And so there's just a lot. It's a lot of things, but we're just trusting that he has a good plan, and that he's a good God, and that he loves us. And I want to continue doing what I feel like he's called me to do, maybe be an encouragement to someone else going through something like this. But thank you so much. If you could pray for her, it would mean a lot. Anyway, have a good day.